Hello. Today I am here to talk with you about the Trecena of bats. And I'm here out at the reservoir. It's a little bit noisy, obviously, there's an event going on somewhere. But I'm here to talk with you about this Trecena of creativity. And many people will see this day one bat's beginning 20 days of creation, which will lead up to Washakib bats, which will lead up to the day 8 bats, one of the most important days of the sacred calendar, the day which celebrates the sacred calendar itself, the day of initiation. However, we're going to talk about the Trecena of bats first, and as usual, I've maybe got a little bit of housekeeping just to bring to your attention at this moment in time. And so I'd like to share with you, maybe you already saw in one of my posts that I had an article published in the Aztlander magazine with regards to the Mirador trek and my experience of it. And actually that article is part of a presentation that I'll be making on the 22nd of September, on the day Washakib Tijax. I'll be making a presentation at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for the magazine. Now I'm going to put a link into the text that accompanies this video with the Zoom link, so please feel free if you want to hear me talk about the Mirador trek and my experience of it. It would be great to have you along. That's actually also my 54th Gregorian birthday, so I thought it's an interesting way to celebrate my birthday. You'll also see that I've just added a calendar workshop which will happen on from the 20th to the 24th of October, so it's a little way off. There's obviously spaces on there right now. The Mirador trek that I'm arranging for next year, the Junajpu Journey, is getting quite full. Maybe there's a couple of spaces left on that, so if you're interested or you've been thinking about it, might be a good idea to get in touch because, you know, it's nearly sold out. And of course, if what I do interests you and you want to get my interpretation of your Nawal, please visit my readings page. Now, you'll actually find on the readings page I've expanded to cover all the readings that I do. And so now on there you'll find that there's also relationship readings, there's Tz'ite, consultations, and there's also what is known as the Path of the plumed serpent readings, which are, you know, when you're going through the day of your Nawal, the 14 days before and the 14 days after, how you can use each of the days within your 9-sign Mayan constellation to enhance and get the most out of that moment in time, out of that transitionary period. Anyway, all of those things you will find in the attachment. You'll find it in the attached text, as it were, to this recording. I hope they're of interest for you. And now let's get into the Trecena of bats. So the Trecena of bats, I would like to see it as 13 days of creativity, 13 days to let your creative essence flow, 13 days that bring a new essence of creativity into your life. Perhaps there's been something that you've been wanting to create, or, you know, kind of like you've been kind of like waiting for the appropriate time. I'd say that's now. And so we're going to begin the Trecena of bats on Hunbats, 15th of September 2025. This, the beginning of creativity, the new creation. It's a great day to begin things. Now, that one day, you know, often we're kind of like, we're starting out on the road, we're starting out on the journey, we're starting out in our project. Maybe it's something we haven't done before. Maybe we need some advice, or maybe we need some encouragement to move forwards with it. And it's a great day to seek out that encouragement, just as the seed will seek out the fertilizer and the nourishment in order to grow strong and tall. It's a day for the potential of creativity that needs to be activated. So yes, you may still have some questions on that, but it's a great day to get the ball rolling, to get things moving, to maybe you're going to go out and get your art supplies or speak to the people that you need to speak to in order to bring the correct environment for that seed to germinate within. But as the initiator, the beginning of this time of creativity, it's a great time to be moving into your new creative project, whatever that might be. From 1 Bats, we then move into 2 so that's going to fall on the 16th of September. And so we can see as the path, we can see it as the road. We can see as the journey that we take. And here, the number 2 can be seen as choices, can be seen as decisions. Now, the number 2 can be linked with relationships. It can represent partnership. And so maybe this is something to do with the path of partnership. Maybe it's something to do with the journey that you're experiencing through your relationship. The number 2 can also bring about some great contrast. It's like 1 or 0. It's left or right. And maybe this is the time when you've come to a fork in the path in this time of creativity. And maybe questions have to be answered. Maybe decisions have to be made. Because quite literally, on the day to there is no middle path. It's either this way or it's that way. Might be my way or the highway, I suppose, as well. But this is, kind of like within your time of creativity, it's time to make some very strong decisions about which path you're going to take. And it may be that there's really only 2 open to you, and that 2 will bring them to the fore and say, right, okay, it's time to make that decision now. We can't put it off for any longer. Here are the 2 realities. Here are the 2 choices laid out before you. Which path do you wish to take? A or B? Okay? So from 2 we then move to 3 on the 17th of September. And so we see 2 energies which both represent or can represent the home. Can represent the home, and the number 3 can also represent the home. It's like the internal number. It's about going inside. And as I was thinking about this yesterday, as I was thinking about it, writing it, getting it ready to prepare to, kind of like put it out to you in this way, the phrase that came to me was about getting our house in order, getting our own house in order. Because the 3 urges us to look within, whether that's within our home or whether that's within ourselves. And is about stability, it's about harmony, it's about getting our family, our community, our house together. And sometimes in order to do that, we have to stand up with our authority and say what needs to be said and do what needs to be done in order to create and promote harmony in that home. Now, there are a great many people who are very happy to go out and, express their views about what's going on in the world, and that's fine and that's fair and it needs doing, let's say. But sometimes we've got to turn that view onto ourselves as well. We've got to look and make sure that what's going on within us is like, if we are in harmony with ourselves, we will create harmony outside of ourselves. And so in this time of the new creation, it's essential that we look within and, as I say, make sure that we have sorted our own house out before we're able to go out and, let's say, sort out our community. So it could be a good time to use the quality of the spinal column to stand up straight and tall and look within to understand how we can bring greater harmony within our own hearts and greater harmony within our own homes. From 3 we then move into 4 Ish, and this will fall on the 18th of September. So Ish, the Nawal of the natural world. Ish, the Nawal of our connection to Mother Earth. The Nawal of the shrines and the altars. The magician as such. And here we see it connected with the number 4, the physical plane of existence. So, kind of like physical visits to sacred sites be a great way of using this day to go and physically connect to Mother Earth. But you don't need to necessarily visit a sacred site, as it were, on that day. The whole point is to understand how to bring your magic into the physical world, how to make that connection very physical in its nature. And for me, this can also represent doing something physical for Mother Earth. How do we show our love? How do we show our appreciation for everything that comes to us from the Mother Earth? We look after her. We actually go out and do something about it. So perhaps it might be, clearing up your local environment. Perhaps it might be go and, tidy the local altars. Make sure that they're in the correct condition to receive our offerings, to receive our prayers. Go and show physically your love for Mother Earth and to give your thanks, to show gratitude in a physical way for everything that she brings to us. From 4 Ish, we then move into 5 Tz'ikin, and this is going to fall on the 19th of September. And so we see Tz'ikin, the Nawal of the bird, the Nawal of the vision, the Nawal of prosperity. And here, combined with the number 5, representing the work, representing putting our energy into it. So, Tz'ikin gives us the ability to fly high, gives us the ability to see into the distance, into the future. And so in this way, it's kind of like setting our sights on where we want to go in this Trecena of creativity. In this time, kind of what's it all leading to? How can it help bring prosperity to our children and our grandchildren? What am I creating? Does it bring prosperity? What is our vision for this project, for this creation that we're making? Now, this is kind of like very much seeing things in the future. And it's also about focus. And here we have it with the number 5, the number which represents bringing our energy in. And it's kind of like focusing our energy on our vision. And I suppose in that, it's kind of like, right, okay, in your time of creation, in your creative process, how focused can you be? In your creative time, how easily are you distracted from what you're envisaging for your creation as to what it's going to become? Look, we might ask Tz'ikin for a vision of the finished product, as it were. It's kind of like we've got an idea as to where we're going. We've got an idea about what we want to create. But Tz'ikin can give us that huge focus, that strong focus on where we're going. But the 5 suggests that we're going to have to put our energy into it. It's not going to fall into our lap. So it's like putting our energy into envisaging the future, putting our energy into envisaging how are we going to finish this creative project up. That may well be a really good focus for that day 5 Tz'ikin. Focus on our work. Focus on where we're putting our energy, because where we're going to put our energy, where we're going to put our attention is going to determine the outcome of our creative essence. From 5 Tz'ikin, we then move into 6 Ajmak, and that's going to be on the 20th of September. And so the Nawal Ajmak, the Nawal of the human, the Nawal of forgiveness, the Nawal of pardon. And here we see it combined with the number 6. The number 6 which can represent family, the number 6 which can represent ultimate stability as well. So it's like bringing ultimate stability through forgiveness. Bringing stability to the family, perhaps, through forgiveness. And maybe this is something where, we've all, I'm sure, been through those times, been through those places where, maybe we need to own up to something, or maybe something's happened within the family and it's caused an imbalance. Sometimes this can also cause, let's say, a block in our creativity. that block comes along because we don't feel right. There's something that's niggling at us, that's stopping us from really opening up our creativity. And 6 Ajmak is a great day to resolve any of those issues within your family. It's a great day to apologize or to approach a subject where things have not gone right. Where, kind of like either we have not accepted the human nature of others, or our human nature has not been accepted. And sometimes we just kind of like, let's keep it under the carpet, right? We know it's there. We can see the carpet shifting around with this thing which should be brought out into the light. 6 Ajmak may bring the exact stable day to do just that, because once you get over that guilt or blame or shame, then your creativity can come out better. And so it's positioned exactly perfectly in this Trecena of creativity to bring stability through forgiveness, to begin to bring stability through acceptance of our human nature and the human nature of others. And of course, the positive side of Ajmak being the sensuality, being the creativity, bringing the joy of being a human being. And so it is that softness, that beauty that comes out through 6 Ajmak that embraces that humanity, particularly of our family. From 6 Ajmak, on the 21st of September, we move into 7 Noach. And so Noach, the Nawal of the mind, the Nawal of the thought, the Nawal of the brain, the Nawal of the problem solver. And here combined with the number 7, which is partly about making our choices, partly about making sure that, we're given these particular ideas that we can address. And 7 is asking us to make the choice. And, Noach can bring solutions. So it's like, okay, choose which solution you want to go with. Now, in our creative process, we may be coming up against new ideas. We may be coming up to new ways of creating or something like that. 7 Noach, using our knowledge, using the information which has come to us in order to make an informed choice about the direction in which we are creating. Noach representing the knowledge and 7 representing finishing. It's like finishing something off, like the final transmission of knowledge which helps us to make the decision as to where to go next, which helps us to make the decision in our creative process. From 7 Noach, we then move into 8 Tijax, and of course this will fall on the 22nd of September. 8 Tijax, which is a wonderful day for healing. Now, it's also going to be the equinox. And so we can see many things rolled up into this being a rather ceremonial day. 8 Tijax is a day on which I've often made healing ceremonies. 8 Tijax, whilst Tijax can represent the obsidian blade which cuts and purifies, it can also represent the bringer of peace that reunites that which has been divided. And when we see the 8, we see the wholeness. We see the light and the dark. We see both sides of it, or all sides of it, as it were. And we understand that sometimes the surgery is absolutely vital in order to cut out what has been causing imbalance, what has been causing disharmony, so that the healing can occur, so that what has been divided can be brought back together again. Now, we can see it as unification. We can see it as unification by removing the disease. And we can also see that this is happening on the equinox, the time of balance between the light and the dark. So I sort of see that in the 8, there is this balance between the light and the dark, the healer and the warrior, the one who brings life and the one who takes life. And so it's this perfectly balanced day that helps us to understand how to remove what needs to be removed in order to bring healing, in order to bring unity, in order to bring things back into balance, back into full health. So, of course, many of us might be making ceremony on the day of the equinox. Many of us also might be making ceremony on the 8th day of the Trecena. So for me, this is a really, really powerful day to be making our invocations, to be burning our Aq'ab'al, to be burning our candles, to ask for peace, to ask to help us, to remove the darkness, to remove the evil, as it were, in order to bring things back into harmony, in order to bring that which has been divided back into wholeness. From 8 Tijax, we then move into 9 Kawok, and this will fall on the 23rd of September. And so we see Kawok, the Nawal of the birthing, Kawok, the Nawal of the storm, Kawok, the one who brings the new into the world. And here we see it with the number which represents the feminine, the number which represents life. Now, Kawok, I always feel, is a feminine Nawal anyway. And here, with the number 9, this has got to be one of the most feminine days of the calendar. I would see 9 Ish as the most feminine, but I would think that that 9 Kawok is, kind of like, is really up there. It's, kind of like up in the top 5, let's say, of the most feminine days. And here we see things being born into life. We have life, the number 9, and Kawok pushing through. Maybe it's the flood, maybe it's the storm, maybe it's the rain that brings life back. It's kind of like the reboot, as it were. And the number 9 is independent. The number 9 is feminine. The number 9 is all about life itself. And here we have Kawok, which can be tough love. Sometimes it's going to be strong to go through that birthing process and push the new into the world. But 9 Kawok is kind of like, it's like the rebirth of life. And so there is something really special about that 9 Kawok. It's like giving life to that creation that you've been thinking to bring in. You've been working on it for the past 8 days, working on your creativity, and then all of a sudden it's kind of like that final push that brings it to life. So, kind of like we can see, yes, Kawok might again bring some toughness that, we have to sort of gain our strength to push through it. Take that breath and breathe it into life. From 9 Kawok, we then move into 10 Ajpu, and that's going to fall on the 24th of September. And so Ajpu, the Nawal of the divine, the search for the divine, the quest for the divine. Ajpu, finding our higher purpose in life. And here we see it with the number 10. So the number 10 representing 2 hands coming together in community, in society, in cooperation. 10 Ajpu, finding our divine purpose within our community. Well, what better, what better goal could we have than that? I mean, that's a wonderful one to find. But it's about finding it, right? And maybe we need our community to remind us of the divine role that we play within that community. Maybe we need to come together to make some agreements that we're all on that divine path. We're all looking for that higher purpose in life. Maybe we need some help. Maybe we've lost the way. Maybe we've fallen foul of all of those tragedies that we hear about. Maybe we've lost our confidence in life. Maybe it's all fallen flat and we've forgotten the divine part within our lives or the lives of others, and we need a little bit of assistance, because the 10 is also this. It's about reaching out our hand for those who can give us a hand up, who can help us, to remind us of our agreements, to remind us of our commitments, to remind us how working together we can create something more holy than working alone. And so it's a great day to have some kind of social event, to get together with your community, with those around you, in order to remind ourselves and others of the higher purpose within the world. From 10 Ajpu, we then move into 11 Imox, and 11 Imox is going to fall on the 25th of September. And so here we have a day which can be highly creative, but also rather scattered. We have Imox, the connection with the water, with the lakes, with the great bodies of water. And here combined with the number 11, which can be following its intuition. It's following what it senses. And of course, Imox is very sensitive because we're all joined together by the water. All life is joined by water. Without water, there is no life. And so water is what we have in common with everything, whether it's every other human being, whether it's every other animal with, like the trees, the plants, the turtles, even the algae and bacteria which are in this lake or whatever. We're all joined together by our need for water. Now, that water, that Imox, taps us into the spirit of everything around us, taps us into feeling what's going on around us. And here with the 11, we may feel a little bombarded at times by all of the messages which are coming in, by all of the sentiments which are coming in. And we have to remember, okay, which ones are calling us strongly? Which ones do I want to incorporate into my creative project? And which ones, well, actually, they're not my dreams. They're the dreams of somebody else. Imox days are great days to go and spend time near the water. They're great days to go and remember our dreams, whether it's the beach or whether it's a lake or whether it's a reservoir or whatever it might be. To take some time to disconnect from the media, to disconnect from social media, to disconnect from all of those influences around us, because we can feel it well enough without being overwhelmed by those things. To go and sit by the water and remember to allow our intuition to speak to us, to give us an understanding of what direction to take our dream into. Now, that direction may seem unusual. It may be a new direction because, for me, the 11 does not follow a logical path. But by following a logical path, we're only going to reach the same place that everybody else following that logical path has got to. What we need to do is follow an intuitive path that's maybe going to seem illogical, but will actually bring innovation. And so it is connecting with our consciousness, connecting with our intuition to take us onto a path which we might not have necessarily considered before, to go and find out a different dream which we can incorporate into our creativity. We're then going to move into 12 Ik, and 12 Ik will fall on the 26th of September. So we have Ik, the Nawal of the wind, Ik, the Nawal of communication, and here combined with the number 12, seeing it brought together, all of our life experiences brought together in one bundle. And so it's a great day to share our life experience, to communicate our life experience. I often talk about the number 12 being rather like writing our autobiography. And here, when we're combining it with Ik, kind of like this is literally communicating our life experience, communicating our autobiography. So I do see Ik as more about the spoken word rather than the written word. And I do feel that with that 12 Ik, it can be very much about sharing your experience verbally with those who are seeking their direction on the path. Maybe this is your creativity on that day. Maybe this is about you going out and recording a podcast or recording something that shares your life experience to those around you. 12 is a strong day, a powerful day, a day where words of experience may land very strongly with others. And so, kind of like if you've got something to share, then perhaps 12 is the day to get it out there to help to assist others with their creative process. And then finally, on the 27th of September, we come to the day 13 Aq'ab'al. Now 13 Aq'ab'al for me is a very important day, as it is the conception day of the day 8 bats, the conception day of Washiki bats. It is the day, for me, we see Aq'ab'al representing this bridge between one thing and the other. We can see it representing a bridge between us and the unseen world, the night and the day, the now and the past. And here we see it with the number 13 representing the spirit world, representing the ancestors. Aq'ab'al is about bringing new concepts into the world. And when we see that connected with the number 13, we can understand where those concepts are coming from. They're coming from spirit. They're coming from the ancestors. So it's a fantastic day to engage with ancestral concepts. It's a fantastic day to be asking the ancestors, in whichever way you choose to do that, asking them to share their concepts with you, so that you are then able to incorporate those ancestral concepts into your creativity going forwards, because through the 7 or 8 days after that, it will take you to 8 bats, which is where that creativity is born, where that creation is born. And so on 13 days, I often feel that we are receptive to spirit. I feel that we're receptive to the ancestors. So reach out. Open yourself to those messages which may be coming from spirit, messages that may be coming from the ancestors, and enable them to help you to understand how to bridge divides, how to bridge polarities, enable them to bring those new concepts into the world so that you can develop those ancestral concepts into your creative purpose. So I hope that has been an interesting recording for you. And I look forward to seeing you in 13 days' time for the Trecena of Cat. Thank you.